Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer, and this is Taskmasters, where every Tuesday I go up against other YouTubers to design ships in Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Now, this week we have got a very interesting challenge ahead of us, with some pre-Dreadnoughts being designed and a very intricate scoring system. But before we go into that, let's revisit where we stand in the series June 2021 and what happened last week. So a fortnight ago, neither of us scored any points at all. We were coming in with 0 points in the first episode of this season. But last week we did score some points. Last week was all about designing a battlecruiser and going up against a mixed fleet. And design battlecruisers we did. Stealth 17, he went in with a very extreme design, I have to say. He went in and designed a battlecruiser with 15, that's 15, 16-inch guns. That is a massive armament. Just to give you a little bit of a perspective how massive that is one more gun than Her Majesty's ship Argent Court had, and she's recognized as one of the most ridiculously overgunned ships in the world. And that's one more gun, and each of these guns has a higher caliber, so it's an extreme design. What did he have to sacrifice for that? He had a very low armor scheme, especially I think around 7.5 inches of belt armor, which is paper thin. Now, how did he do though? He did initially keep his distance, and that was pretty nice because he did score early hits on the enemy battlecruiser. He was able to sink that very nicely, but ultimately that low armor, that held him back a little bit because he could not close in with the enemy battleship, and that meant he had to fire in from a distance, otherwise he would have been obliterated. And at that distance, 16-inch guns were just not enough against the super battleship that he was facing. So he did not manage to sink the battleship. He did score all other things though, so he went in with 3 points there, and that was kind of nice. Now, next contestant would be Spartan Elite, and he was, I think, going for a much more conservative design. 9 16-inch guns, so a lot less than the 15 that we saw on Stealth, but 18 inches of belt armor. That was a very nice design overall. He did design the ship with maximum bulkheads, which is a good design choice, but that did cost him a point in the scoring system. Otherwise, it was a very good run for him. He very nearly dodged some torpedoes, very, very tight run there, but ultimately he went in against the battleship, caused nice flash fires, caused the battlecruiser to sink at low distance, and man, was that beautiful. And a little bit of a ringer, I have to say. Speaking of a ringer, Brother Monroe really made it kind of interesting last time, because he was also building a sort of normal ship, 9 16-inch guns, 15 inches of belt armor, so pretty average, I would say. But in his run, he was unfortunately suffering a torpedo hit from the heavy cruiser, I believe it was, as he was charging into that, and that did cost him one of his ships. So that meant he had only one battlecruiser left to steam in against the enemy battleship, and that was a tight race there. And if I remember correctly, he's winning there with just 16% buoyancy left, while he was obliterating the enemy battleship. So very closely fought, but unfortunately he did lose some points for suffering that torpedo hit. Now that brings us to our attempt here. Now we were going in with a very different ship than all of the other guys. We were the only ones to pick 18-inch guns instead of the 16-inch guns. 9 of them, to be precise, 28 inches of belt armor. So that's almost twice as much as as Brother Monroe, for example, and almost 4 times, I think, as much as Stealth 17. So massive belt armor. That was very nice. We did manage to go in, dodge some torpedoes, and then kill the battleship at a distance of like 6 kilometers or so. So that's very nice. That brought us 5 points last week. Spartan and Brother do stand at 4 points for this season, and Stealth 17 at 3 points. Now, will we be able to hold this line this time around, or will we actually fail? So let's look at the task here. Now, the interesting bit is we are going to play in 1900, so pretty much this turn of the century here. We are going to start at a range of 10,000 meters against the British Empire. Now, the British are going to bring in 3 battleships and 5 torpedo boats. Right, that's correct. We, on the other hand, have 5 battleships and nothing else. Now, that is an interesting design. That is going to end up with pre-Dreadnoughts. But what's the scoring system? Now, we gain 1 point each for the following. If we don't suffer any flash fires, we're going to get a point. If we sink all of the enemy battleships, we're going to score a point. If we use the smallest possible hull for that nation, and that is defined as the overall length of the ship, that will get us a point. If we lose no ship, we're going to get a point. And lastly, and this is the interesting one, if we do get torpedoed, but the ship survives the torpedo hit until the end of the match, we're going to score a point. So that means we will need to be able to be torpedoed. Now, the other interesting bit is we get a point for using the shortest potential ship for that nation. Now, that is actually different for each nation, and as Brother Monroe himself found out, the Russians do have a very particular design, and I think we faced that design in one of the early challenges. Now, you can see the length of the ship down here, right? So right now this is 541 feet, but you can see for the Russians it's actually the battleship 4 hull that has the lowest length. Now, we need to bring that down a little bit further, basically until the hull here is shrinking. You can see it has sort of distinct size patterns, and we can basically bring that down to 14,165 tons. So that is going to be the ship that we can choose here. We could of course use a bigger one. We could use a much bigger ship, but that would cost us a point, and I am very hopeful that we might manage to actually keep our position as the leader of the pack. So yeah, let's see about that. Just the usual stuff here, best tower sort of, and everything like that. Let's start out with a small funnel here, and we can check whether that is enough engine efficiency. Not for now, but of course we're going to use all of the things up here because basically we do not have any restriction in terms of the costs or the weight other than the length here. So we're going to use induced boilers because they're just a little bit better. We're going to use the Steam M expansion, multiple expansion steam engine. It's just a little bit better. We're going to use the best armor available to us, so that's Crop 1. And because we will actually need to be torpedoed to get that point, we're going to use anti-torpedo bulges, we're going to use double bottom hulls, we're going to use the best bulkheads, and we're going to dial up the bulkheads here so that the flooding isn't quite as bad. We're going to try to pump out as much as possible, and just because the weight is not that much of an issue, we're also going to use the Citadel to armor the underwater protected deck. So that does basically set up the protection here. We can also look at the range finders. Now I think just gun base accuracy is going to be kind of nice. I think we're going to come in kind of close. So that's our ship. Let's talk about its guns. Now centerline guns, we can go up to 13 inches. That's a Mark II version. Mark II, Mark II, Mark II, Mark III for 9 inches. Yeah. I think 13 inches are going to be better. Specifically, we do need to sink the enemy battleships, so that might be... Can I not fit you on here? Ah, that's interesting. I cannot actually physically fit that in there. How about the 12 inches? Yeah, okay, that does work. So let's use 12-inch guns then. It's the best we can do. I'm guessing we can use secondaries on these positions there. Maybe a smaller one? Yeah, okay. Okay, can't pick it there. Can I rotate you around? No, I can't do that. Well, I could put you there, but you know what? I think I would rather have a slightly more uniform layout here. So let's use 6-inch guns instead. That might work, yeah. Yeah, okay, I think that's okay. That's a decent design-ish. Now, we still have quite a bit of weight to play around with. Engine efficiency is high enough here, so we'll probably dial up the speed a little bit too. But before we do that, let's actually look at the shells over here. We're going to use heavy shells, we're going to use enhanced reloading. Don't think we need any sort of turret thing there. In terms of gunpowder, we could use gun cotton, but having a flash fire would be bad for us, so I think ballistite is going to be the best one. It's going to be the safest one for sure. And in terms of our armor protection, so let's look at this. I'm thinking we probably need to come in close, so let's call that a distance of 2,500 meters here. At that range, a 13-inch gun, and we would need to expect a 13-inch gun on the enemy side as well, could penetrate 26 inches of armor. Now, our armor has a quality of 1.74, so just pulling out my pocket calculator here, we do need at least, yeah, 15 inches of armor to be reasonably safe. Now, at that point, the enemy still can punch through occasionally, but I'm guessing it's going to be alright-ish. Now, that is overweight, but I think we'll see that the deck armor, yeah, deck armor is about 600 tons, and I really don't think we need it. I think we are going to be alright with a very minimal deck armor here, because at the ranges where we are expect to fight, that is not that much of an issue. So I think that works out reasonably well here for me. And I'm guessing even the turret tops can be reduced somewhat. That does increase the chances for flash fires, but I don't think it's that bad. Speaking of that bad, I dislike the aft offset here. Can I pick you a little bit to the front here? No, I can't. You are pretty much all the way to the front already. Can we shift? Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. I wanted this guy. Right. No. Ah, damn it. Okay, that's a little bit crammy. 22.4 aft offset is really not great. Okay, now we have a forward offset. What happens if we do what we did a couple of episodes ago and put a single gun here on the rear? Still 11%, no? You know what, in that case, let's pick the 9-inch gun, single 9-inch gun. Yeah, that works. It's still a bit of an offset here, if we move that in a little bit. Now we've got a forward offset. Okay, that's brilliant, actually. I like it. It's a weird design. Admittedly, it's a very weak design. It has a lot of forward-facing firepower, and not so much to the rear here. Maybe this is going to be useful against the torpedo boats, but certainly not so much against the enemy battleships. But you know what? That's how it is. Right, let's dial the speed up a little bit until we are hitting the point here where engine efficiency drops down 18 knots. It's not that much, but I do think I like and prefer the actual armor protection here. I do think we need to go a little bit higher here on the belt armor at least. Yeah, that's looking good. Can we potentially go 18.5? That's a very low efficiency here, but maybe if we can increase the slightly better funnels and use these. Yeah, 95%, that's looking good to me. We've got 30 tons here to spare. You know what, I guess what we could do is use underwater torpedo tubes here. You are claiming that you have a poor rate of fire. I don't believe you. Ooh, we do need bombats. We definitely do need bombats. We don't want to suffer the flash fire there. Ooh, and suddenly this is not looking as good anymore. Let's do this though. How much are we needing here? Well, around 200 tons. Well, I'm guessing we can reduce this further, right? Yeah, we can. That should be alright. Let's go to 19.5 here, maybe? Yeah, that does work. I don't think we need as many conning tower, as much conning tower armor, actually. We should be alright. 80 tons. How do we get rid of 80 tons? We could go for a reduced loadout here. I don't think we're going to use these torpedoes here often. Just a little bit, just 60 tons. Yeah, you know what? Let's dial this down to 18.9 here. Fast torpedoes, enhanced reloading. Yeah, all looking good to me. All looking pretty good to me. Let's use the last bit here. We've got still a bit of a forward offset. Don't think we can. Oh no, that's too much. Right, forward, aft 5%. Come on, aft 3.4. Just tweaking this to get the last sort of minimum. There we go. That's the best performance I think that we are going to get in this. Right, so without further ado, let's look at our ship here, take a screenshot, and then have her on the way to see what we're going to face over here. So remember, no flash fires, sink all battleships, try to suffer a torpedo hit. Okay, you guys are going to go there, somewhere to the north here. You know what, you are finding that I'm going to detach you because I would like everyone here to be sort of on their own. You do have 18 knots here. That's okay. You guys have 50 knots, so you should be able to come up to these guys and basically get in line with them, which is our main ship, this one. So that's the circle where we want everyone to be in. For now, that's looking really fine, but let's see. What's the weather situation? Now, in the back here, in the background, there's a bit of a thunderstorm. Not sure whether you are picking that up on the audio. That's certainly a little bit disconcerting. Right, let's accelerate here. Oh, there we go. That's the enemy. Now, they are firing on us. And let's see what they've got. That must be the battleship, or one of the battleships. Looks like it has 13-inch guns. Now, that is unfortunate. Do you have torpedoes? Yeah, you do. You do have 2 underwater torpedo tubes. I'm guessing that's either going to be to the side or 1 rear and 1 forward facing. Turrets there, 13 inches. That's slightly worse than I was expecting. And 16 6-inch guns. Especially that would be devastating on a broadside, I'm guessing. Right, you're coming in towards us anyway. That's going to be alright. We are going to sail everyone sort of towards you. Let's see which direction you're going, whether you're going left or right. Seems like you're going to the right here from our side point of view. So yeah, let's go into that direction. There is another ship there, and that might be one of the torpedo boats. Yes? Yeah. So torpedo boats. How many torpedoes are we talking about? I can see a dual launcher, question mark? Yes, it's a dual launcher in the rear there. 1 kilometer. That must be fast torpedoes, because that's exactly our range. Now remember, we want to be hit by torpedoes, but we still want to survive, so I don't want to be hit by too many. I think 2 might be survivable, but honestly I'm really not sure. And we certainly don't need to be hit by the first guy here, so let's start by putting our secondaries on him for the moment here, while everyone else is still going for the enemy battleships. Right. No hits so far on anyone. Interesting to see that they're coming in so aggressively. I think they have 5 guys, yeah. At least my notes show that I should have picked 5. So I'm trusting that I did exactly that. Now remember, 1 kilometer, that's really close range. So it's interesting to see that, you know what, you guys should shoot at this. Whoa, 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 what are you doing here? Great. Are you using your main caliber guns on that? Yeah, you are. Okay, that's certainly not what I intended. Primary guns on this guy, secondaries only on this one. You, primary guns on you, secondaries on the torpedo boat. You, primary guns on you, secondaries on you. That should be okay. Right, there we go. Not sure what you suffered there. Yeah, 12-inch gun hit. That was maybe. I think that should do it for him actually. You just might recover if it's in a very nice spot for him. There's another torpedo boat. That means we have spotted 3 out of their 5. It's okay so far. You know what? You guys could potentially try to chew them up. I know he's kind of far off, and there's number... Ooh, damage to the main tower here. That will drop our accuracy somewhat. Not good. Not good at all. You know what? I think you can go for the second ship here, while you're trying to come up that way. You could also potentially just try to fall back a little bit while everyone else is closing in. We need to be mindful that we do not actually want to sink all of these guys. We just want to sink a couple of them, basically. You only have 2 torpedoes, so you only have basically 1 reload anyway. That's okay. We've got all of these guys there on the side. Now, again, I want to use... I want to use them basically up a little bit, but not all the way. So, we should ideally make sure that at least one of them should be around. Although, of course, we do see that the battleships do also have torpedoes, so that might be an okay thing to do. And I certainly don't want to be overwhelmed here. We do need to keep an eye on these guys there on the flank. so that they don't come in all at the same time. Okay, you guys are doing that, that's okay. Let's have you also go for the Osprey. Though, honestly, I'm not so much concerned about the Osprey, really. It's really more of these ships that are coming in from the other side. Because the Osprey is a single ship there. She's going to be alright. You do need to come in a little bit more like that, and you are coming in very nicely. They're very close to these guys. That's good to see. Certainly hope that you're going to be able to do something there. Well, what do we know about you guys? You've got maximum bulkheads, that's our luck there. You've got crop 1 armor, so pretty good too. Yeah, you're going to be a tough one to crack. And 8.7 inches of belt armor. Now that is much worse than what we've got, but still. Okay, the Osprey here is actually struggling a little bit. And that's nice, because if that ship continues to have some engine trouble there, I'm actually going to be kind of happy about that, because that does mean that we can use it later on as a punching bag to just suck up our 1 torpedo hit. At least what I hope to be a 1 torpedo hit. It's an odd thing to try to be torpedoed, honestly. Normally, I feel at least I'm pretty good at avoiding torpedo hits, but sometimes that's just not the case, and it's weird that we want to be different here. But you're firing on him. You know what? You can fire on him completely too, and you might as well go for Ajax here. Whereas these 3 guys are going for the lead ship. I think that's going to be a good idea. Osprey, at least you've repaired your engines there, so might as well still go for you. Yeah, that's exactly what you guys are doing. I'm guessing you can start firing on them too. 22 knots. These guys are fast. We do need to make sure that we are catching up to them, or at least slowing them down sufficiently on sort of this intercept course here. Right, there we go. Let's go a little bit faster, I guess. What are you doing, Osprey? Not much, it seems. We haven't really scored any hit here on these guys. Well, we did score a hit. Minimal damage, though. Osprey, engine damage. Nope. But you are on fire. And that is nice. Yeah, and you can sort of see that I don't like to use formations if I've got too many ships. It just becomes very unwieldy, and you sort of don't have the power to do anything about it. You know what? Let's double up on the Ajax. I am hoping to slow at least one of these ships down. I would like to slow down the lead ship, because then she's going to drop in behind and going to try to come in the last position. It's not happening now, though. Petropavlovsk is taking most of the beating here on our end. Still 100%, so that's not too bad. Do want to make sure that our ships here are not blocking each other in, though. Interesting to see that we are coming in closer to the torpedo range here. So it might actually be one of the battleships that sends out a torpedo against us. And honestly, I would prefer that, because that would... Oh, that's nice. Engine damage here on her. That means she is going to slow down. And that does give us a good chance here of catching up, which I very much appreciate. Main tower damage here, though, on you. Must be very sure... Must make sure to not get a flash fire here. I'm going to actually drop down in speed, because I would like everyone here to be a little bit closer together. And that would be fantastico. Right, as I was saying, I would actually prefer being torpedoed by the battleships, because they are only going to send out a single torpedo, whereas the other guys are going to send out a double torpedo, and that double torpedo might actually do 2 hits, which would certainly do a lot more damage than a single hit. So, yeah, that's that. Come on, guys. Okay, some flooding there on the Pre-Dreadnought. There is the Sturgeon. I'm going to open fire here on you with secondaries. Primarily just to drive you off for the moment. I'm hoping at least that is going to be useful. Now, she is flooding, but she's not going to flood in a way that makes me believe... You know what? Can we actually see some torps at some point? Okay, well that's nice. IX is sinking due to flash fire here. You know what? Let's use that as a screenshot. So what was it? Height interface. Control Alt Shift Z. Control Alt Shift that. That is a nice picture. Just look at that turret flying there, and that is kind of nice. Right. Okay. Back to work though. So you guys, are you now all firing on cannon posts? You know what? At least 2 of you should fire on resolution instead, and you can all do all go for him. Yeah, there we go. Right. Let's come about over here, and same really with you. I do want to make sure that we are catching them a little bit of guard here. And let's go back up to speed. I think we're going to need that. We are very, very close, and I think at this point they might have a chance here of penning us. No, just look at that. That's our armor scheme here for you. Really, really fantastic, really doing well. Whereas they are not holding up to the same extent as we are. Right, actually, you might come into our torpedo range soonish, which would be kind of fun. Right, you know what? You guys are alright here. Let's come closer. He is flooding already, so that is nice. I'm really wondering why he's not sending out torpedoes our way. Let's actually try to make it a little bit easier for him by going straight. If he's got a rear torpedo tube, he might use it now. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that's exactly what I was hoping for. That's exactly, because that is a single torpedo, and I'm at least hoping that that is going to score a hit. So, to make that a little bit more likely, where is it exactly? I can't see it. It's there. So, let's see whether that is gonna be able to score something. So, we need to follow you, and we need to put a constant bearing here on this torpedo. Seems like it's breaking out to the rear here a little bit. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop down in speed. I'm actually going to throw in the reverse here so to make sure that we're going to suffer that hit. Second thing is, if we do suffer that hit, we can pretty much go for... No! 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 Yes! Oh, that was so that was so close. And for the one time we really do want to be hit. That is kind of irritating. To be coming in so close here. Right, now let's try to make sure that we are scoring hits here against the battleship. And at this point we really kind of start to try to kill all of these torpedo boats, because we don't need them to be around anymore, right? It's perfectly fine if we can sink these guys. You are lagging behind a little bit. You need to come up to better speed here. You on the other hand can circle around there. Hopefully you're gonna... You've got a little bit of flooding there in the rear, but I think you're gonna be able to survive that. That's the beauty about this single hit here. Right, speaking of, I'm guessing you should be able to send out a torp into her, shouldn't you? Okay, she's flooding pretty badly now. She's some engine issues. She's got some steering issues too. So that would really indicate to me that... Okay, flash fire there, that's nice. Let's go for resolution. Let's try to send stuff into these smaller boats. You're going to try to withdraw here. You can actually try to speed up a little bit. That is going to be alright. You know what? Let's try to hit you guys. You're fine here like that. Maybe start chasing albacore. Resolution, of course, has not really suffered any damage yet, so we do need to be kind of careful about her. She also still has some torps left, so we will... It would be good if we don't run into her. We have that that point for now, so... Come on. Is everyone running the maximum speed? I hope you kind of are. Yeah, I'm slightly worried here about friendly fire, so I'm not going to use her to fire on the resolution. But it would certainly still be very welcome if you could score some better hits here. Right, you're going to run right into that wreck, aren't you? Let's slow you down. Wait for her to be sinking. Okay, that's embarrassing here. That is super embarrassing. Please do not die. We are getting points for keeping all ships alive, and that would be a hilariously bad maneuver on my end. If that is gonna decide what's going on here. Right. Let's try to save her. That was hilariously bad. Mind you, so far we haven't lost a point for that, but man oh man. Right, you guys are slowly limping away. Honestly, actually, you might not need to do that. And I'm guessing you can actually start firing at these guys back there. Sturgeon, maybe, with secondaries. Secondaries are being fired on you. Oh, there's a good hit on Porcupine. Right, nice. Right, let's keep our bow trained on you as much as possible, at least. This is so embarrassing, honestly. Right, let's target you. Except for secondaries, which are going to go on you. There's some more flooding on Porcupine. Good. Good, I like that. Resolution is slightly worrying to me, though. You have regained some of your speed, so please do use that. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. You are pretty much dead in the water now after that collision. Nice. Good hit there. Double engine damage. That is certainly nice to see. Good, good, good. How about all of these ships here? But she's pretty much dead in the water now. Still, she doesn't have that much structural damage, so we better keep on shooting her to make sure that that is gonna go our way. Could you start gearing up here a little bit more? Right. This is also going to be an interesting situation because we might actually send a torpedo into her on this course. Actually, we don't need to. Happy that these German ships did... sorry, that these British ships... What did you actually bring? Lyddite. Yeah, that is potentially it. Right, you guys sort of just do your thing. Just continue firing on anyone who's coming in close. I think we are in the clear now, but let's see. Gonna just dial up the timing here a little bit. All of you guys still do have torpedoes, but I think it's only these three left. Or was there a fourth one? I hope not. I really hope that not. You know what? Don't try not to run into that wreck. I mean, once is embarrassing, twice would be a little bit over the top, I think. Right, Albuquerque, Porcupine. Don't mind if you fire Porcupine first. She is the slower ship. So she's maybe not the main danger here, but she's maybe a little bit easier to take out, so let's keep it at that. You guys can sort of cross courses here. You have spotted us. Is there anyone else? Main gun destroyed there. I don't really care about the main gun, guys. The main gun is a 3-inch pea shooter. We are worried about the torpedoes, though. Ah, yeah, there we go. Osprey. That's the last one. You guys are fine? This here is not gonna end well, is it? What's the name of the Admiral who's in charge on the Dardanelles and who's causing a crash between his battleships? I don't want to be that guy. And granted, that was only maneuver, but still, it's pretty embarrassing. I think it was just, I don't remember the name of the Admiral. What's British Admiral? He was basically, I think, mistaking the turning radius for the turning circle. So he was basically saying, yeah, okay, the radius for a turn is gonna be lower than the distance between the two ships that are making that inward turn, and that did end up in a collision, because obviously if the radius is this, then until you have got the nearly full circle, you are going to be looking at twice the radius. I will need to look that up though. It's going to bother me otherwise. Okay, that's good. That's good. Good hits there. She is sinking. That's nice. Let's turn these guys around and come for her there. You are still horribly slow and somewhat vulnerable here. And it would really, really suck to lose that ship. So let's try to shield her. I think Osprey is the bigger danger. Porcupine still that in the water. I don't know why. It's only one engine that's down, but... Okay, let's just go full on Osprey here. You guys maybe take Porcupine. I think that's going to be alright. And yeah, do restart your engines basically. Right, there we go. Nice hits now. Lovely to see. That should be... Oh, I expected that to be one hit at least. Yeah, but Osprey... I mean, she's very valiant. The fact that she's still around, burning like that, being under fire from 3 battleships. Oh, Porcupine, look at her. She's going to go down soon. 2% float, 0.5. She's recovering a little bit, but just one more hit there and she is going to go down. Could switch fire, but honestly at this point I'm not too concerned. It's 2 kilometers, she is not going to be able to lose her torpedoes. Come on, guys. Well, she's not going to be able to use her torpedoes at this rate here, but what if we do run into her? That would be kind of awkward, wouldn't it? Right, at some point we can actually use the 9-inch gun there, so that is going to be helpful against this type of target. Oh, come on now. Come on, that was a good hit. Yeah, she's flooding bad. Okay, let's make sure to bring her under. Oh, come on now. Oh, come on now. Both of these ships are holding out for dear life here, but she is actually going to be able to recover some damage here. Amazing. That is just amazing. Porcupine though too. I'm actually torn between firing at either of these guys. There we go. That must... Yeah, that's it. That's it, and that should very nearly do it for her too. Ooh, let's make sure that we're not going to be torped here on the last meters. But even if we are, I'm pretty sure that she can survive that. Yeah, there we go. And that should do it for today. So that is another 5 points for us. Do check out how the other guys did, and let's find out how we're going to go into the rest of the season here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Do leave a like and check out the other guys. Bye bye.